Hi everybody, it's Miss Espinosa and I'm coming back to you with another math video. So this video I'm going to be, we're going to be reviewing multiplication 2 digits by 2 digits. We're going to review the box method, partial products, and then I'm going to teach you a third method, which is the standard algorithm. I did not teach you this in class, but it is something that you will need for the 5th grade. So the first problem, we're going to do the 3 different ways. All I want you to do is to watch the first time. After that, I'm going to have you go get lined paper and a pencil, and then you're going to work out the next problems. But this problem right now, I don't want you to work it out. I want you to follow along with me and watch, so that way you can see the steps. Now I'm using a pen because the camera does not pick up pencil well, so I have to use a pen. But when you work out the problems, I want you to use a pencil. Okay, so our first problem is going to be 34 times 13. Okay, so our first method is the box method. Okay, so the box method is you're going to make a box. Okay, and you make as many columns as there are digits on top. So there are 1, 2 digits on top. So you're going to make 2 columns. And then you make as many rows on the side, as many digits as you have on the side. So we have 1, 2 digits. So we need 1, 2 rows. Again, we need as many digits on top for the columns and as many digits that there are on the bottom for the rows. So for the top, we're going to put the value of each digit. So the value of this digit is 4. The value of this digit is 30. Okay, and then we move on to the rows. So the value of this digit is 3. And the value of this digit is 10. See, 34, 13. Okay, then we're going to work out the problems inside each of the squares. So this problem is 10 times 30. Then this problem will be 10 times 4. And then 3 times 30. And then 3 times 4. Okay, so you're taking this digit that's on the side and multiplying by each of these digits. And then you go on to the next row and you multiply this digit by each of these on top. So 10 times 30, 10 times 4, 3 times 30, and 3 times 4. Okay? Now remember, when you're multiplying numbers that have zeros, you can just ignore the zeros and add those in later. So 1 times 3 is 3, and then add back those zeros. We have 1, 2 zeros. So the answer is 300. And then 10 times 4 is 40. And then 3 times 30, well, we can ignore the 0. 3 times 3 is 9. And then we have 1 0, so 90. And then 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, once you have all of your answers, then you're going to put your answers here and then add them. So we're going to have 300. Now this is when lining them up in the columns is a good habit to do. Then you have 40, 90, and then 12. Add that up. Add up the ones. Add up the tens. 9, 10, 14. And then 3 plus 1 is 4. 442. Okay, so that is the box method. Now we're going to do the exact same problem. And we're going to do the partial products. Okay, so same problem. 34 times 13. This time, you're going to multiply the value of the digits by the value of the digits on top. So this value of this digit is 3. And you're going to multiply it by the value of this digit, which is a 4. Then you take, again, the value of this digit, which is 3, and multiply it by the value of this digit, which is 30, because it's in the tens place. Okay? And then go on to the next digit on the bottom. The value of this digit is 10. And you're going to multiply it by the value of that digit, which is 4. And then, again, you do it to the next number. The value of this digit on the bottom is 10. You multiply it by the value of this digit on top, which is 30. Okay, now that we have that, we can multiply. Now, when you're multiplying, you want to make sure you leave enough room because some of these numbers might get into the thousands. So you want to make sure you're leaving room. So 3 times 4 is 12. So we're going to write it off to the side a little, leaving some rooms for the hundreds and thousands place. Okay. And then 3 times 3 is 9. Well, first let's put down our 1 0. And then 3 times 3 is 9. Okay. 10 times 4 is 40. And then here we're multiplying with some zeros. So let's first put down our zeros. There's 1, 2 zeros. And then 1 times 3 is 3. So 300. So then we add all those up. And because they're nicely lined up for us, all we have to do is add our ones. 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 4 is 14. 3 and 1 is 4. So you see how the box method takes a lot more work. This takes less amount of work. And then now I'm going to teach you the standard algorithm, which takes the least amount of time to do. Okay, so we have 34 times 13. Now with standard algorithm, you're multiplying each of the digits on the bottom by the digits on the top. Whereas here you're multiplying the value of the digits. So here's the value, right? You're multiplying the value. Here you are not doing the value. Okay, you're just doing what the name of the digit is. So this is 3 times 4. So that would be 12. You try and keep them nice and lined up, and I probably should have wrote them a little more neater. And then you take that again, because we did 3 times 4 is 12. So you put the 2 there and carry the 1. Now, if you're like me, I don't like to do, I don't automatically do math in my head. So you can do some of the calculations off to the side if it helps you. So 3 times 3 is 9, plus that 1 on top is 10. So you multiply this 3 times 3 plus that 1 on top. And that gave you the 10. Now, what I would suggest you do, if you have an eraser, you can erase this that you carried so you don't get confused. Or what I usually do, I just scratch it out because you don't want it to mix you up for the next digit. Okay, now we're going to move on to the next digit. Now, because this digit is in the tens place, we need to shift all of our numbers. We won't be putting the first number in the ones place because this digit is not in the ones place. This digit is in the tens place. So our first digit is going to be here. So what I need you to do is you need to put a marker down. Some people put a 0 and some people put an X. I like to put an X because it doesn't confuse me. But so put an X because the first digit you're going to put down goes in the tens place. So nothing's going to go here. Okay, so 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 3 is 3. You add that up. 2, 4, 4. So this is the quickest to do. The trick is remembering to put this down. You have to shift it because this first row is when you were multiplying this digit that was in the ones place. But now that we're multiplying a digit that is in the tens place, the first number is going to be in the tens place. So we need to just put a marker there so we know we have nothing in the ones place. So that's the trick right there. Okay? So now I'm going to give you a problem. I want you to get some lined paper, if possible, and and a pencil. So preferably no pen. And I'm not going to do all 3 methods. I'm just going to do the partial products because some of you are still learning partial products. Those of you who are ready for standard algorithm, I need for you to try it or to try and master it because it's going to help you in 5th grade because in 5th grade, that's what they're going to be teaching you. And that's what the average person on the street knows how to do is the standard algorithm. Okay, so I'm going to write down the problem. Then once I write down the problem, I want you to pause the video, work out the problem, and then play it so that way you can see if you got the same answer. Okay, so the first problem will be 74 times 23. Okay, and I'm going to write it twice because I'm going to work it out twice. 74 times 23. I'm trying to write the numbers bigger so you can see them. Okay, so right now I need you to pause the video, work out the problem, and then take off the pause and come back. Okay, thank you for coming back. Now we're going to first do the partial products, where we're doing the value. We're multiplying by the value. Over here, we're going to be doing the standard algorithm, and we are not multiplying by the value, okay? It's just what the digit is. Okay, so the first one is 74 times 23, and we're doing partial products. So it's 3 times this digit, the value of this digit, times the value of that digit. So 3 times 4, the value of this digit times the value of that digit, so 3 times 70. And then we move on to the next digit right here. So the value of this digit times the value of that digit, so 20 times 4. Then the value of this digit times the value of that digit. So 20 times 70. Okay? And then you work it out. 3 times 4 is 12, and we are going to leave some room just in case if we have a hundreds and a thousands digit. Okay? We have 1 0 there, so we're going to put our 0 down first. 3 times 7 is 21. So it should be 210. Okay, then let's do the next problem. You have 1 0 here, so put the 0 down. 2 times 4 is 8. So that's 80. Okay, and then on this one we have 2 zeros. So we're going to put our 2 zeros down. And then 2 times 7 is 14. Okay, then we're going to add it together. Because we kept it nice and neat in our columns, we can just add down. That's 2, 8, 9, 10, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1. 1, 2, 3, 1,702. Is that what you got? Check and see that if you didn't, it may be that either you didn't line it up correctly, or it could be that you didn't multiply by the value. Okay, now let's do standard algorithm. Okay, now here we are not multiplying by the value. It's just what the digit is. Okay, so here we have 3 times 4, which is 12. Then 3 times 7 plus whatever's up there. So 3 times 7 is 21 plus the 1 gives us 22. See that? 3 times 7 is 21 plus that 1 is 22. Okay. So we did that first digit, right? We did it. We're done with that. Now we're moving on to the next digit. And because this digit is in the tens place, our first digit is going to land here. So we need to put a marker down so that way we don't accidentally put our first digit here. We want to make sure our digit goes here. Okay? Now scratch whatever's on top, whatever you did up here, so that way you don't get confused. Because we're starting over. Okay? So now we're starting over with the next number. So it's 2 times 4 is 8. And then 2 times 7 is 14. That time we didn't have to add anything. Okay, so now we add 2. 8 plus 2 is 10. Carry that 1. 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we have that 1. 1,702. Now, if you didn't get this correctly, it could possibly have been because you didn't put down that marker. Or maybe it's because you're still multiplying the values. Or it could be you're just confused with your math facts. Okay, let's do another. Because practice makes perfect. Nobody learns anything the first time. Okay, now we're going to try another one. Let's see. We will do 54 times 46. Okay, this will be where you do the partial products. Where you will be multiplying the value. Okay, you will be doing that. Here on this side, you'll be doing the standard algorithm, but you are not multiplying by the value. Okay, and we're going to be doing the exact same problem, 54 times 46. Okay, so I want you to pause the video and work out both problems. Then play the video again so you can see if you got the problem correct, and if not, where you may have made your mistake. Okay, so for partial products, remember we are multiplying by the value of each digit. So this is, and I like to write down the values first, the problems, and then work it out. So that way I can remember my patterns and make sure I don't miss any digits. Okay, so this is 6 times 4. And then this is 6 times 50, because this is worth 50. That's the value of that 5 is 50. Okay, then we're done with that one. Now we're going to move on to the next digit. 40 times 4. And then 40 times 50. Because this is worth 40 and that is worth 50. So once you have written down your problems, then work them out. 6 times 4 is 24, and we're going to write it off to the side to leave some room for, in case we have, hundreds, thousands, and maybe possibly even 10,000s. We don't know. Okay, so that's 24. Then we have 1 0, so put our 0 down. And then 6 times 5 is 30. Okay. Here we have 1 0, so put our 0 down. And then 4 times 4 is 16. Okay. Here we have 2 zeros, 1, 2. So put our zeros down first. And then 4 times 5 is 20. So that is 2,000. Okay, then we add each column. This is the ones place, tens place, hundreds, and the thousands. So 4 times 0, 0, 0, 4 plus all that is 4. 2 plus 6 is 8. 3 plus 1 is 4. 2, our answer is 2,484. Okay, if you didn't get that answer, again, it could be that you either missed a digit or missed a value of a digit, or possibly you didn't have them lined up correctly. You got to make sure that the ones are lined up with the ones, the tens are lined up with the tens, the hundreds and the thousands, and so on. Okay, so now we're going to do the standard algorithm. Now remember, when you are multiplying here, you are not multiplying by the value. Okay, so here we have, and I like to put a little multiplication sign there and a little add sign up here to just remind me that I'm multiplying these and adding what's up here. That could be a trick too. Whatever helps you remember. Okay, so 6 times 4 is 24. Make sure you keep them lined up in here, because that's where you're going to be adding. You're not going to put them off to the side like you do partial products. Okay, then here we have 6 times 5 is 30. So 6 times 5 is 30. And then you're going to add the 2 on top, which is 32. 6 times 5 is 30, plus the 2 is 32. Now, that was the digit, the ones digit. Now we're moving on to the tens digit, and that's going to be placed here. So we need to put our marker here so we don't accidentally put our first digit there. Okay, so then don't forget to scratch out what we did so it doesn't confuse us. Okay, then we're going to do the next digit. 4 times 4 is 16, so you put the 6 there and the 1 here. That's 16. And then 4 times 5 is 20 plus 1 is 21. So 5 times 4 is 20 plus 1 is 21. Yes. Okay. Then you add it. Add the ones. Add the tens. Add the hundreds. And add the thousands. So 4. 6 plus 2 is 8. 3 plus 1 is 4. And then 2. 1, 2, 3. 2,484. Now, if you got this wrong, it could be that you forgot to put your marker, because this is crucial, really important. Or it could be that you forgot to add something, or maybe you added, you forgot to get rid of that 2 that we had there. Okay.